So this is a view of the Danube, the chain bridge and various other buildings in from the castle. Over there you can see the Parliament. This is Saint Matthias or Church, or the Church of Our Lady, in the Buda Castle estate. It's, I think they're the ceramic tiles again. Nevertheless, very colourful. So another view of St. Matthias Church, and just behind it is this thing called the Fisherman's Bastion, which is a viewpoint. If you want to go onto the top, then obviously you have to pay to walk along the top of there. However, if you carry on, opposite Starbucks is this, obviously this part of the Fisherman's Bastion, which is free. So we'll wander up there and see what we can see. The Fisherman's Bastion itself is quite something. So this is the Fisherman's Bastion and St. Matthias Church there, and the River Danube. And there you can see the chain bridge. And opposite is Parliament, and that's looking down to the island. This lovely evening sunshine, or late afternoon. This is the Mary Magdalena Tower. In the UNESCO grounds of the castle. It's a pretty impressive thing. And on the far terrace of the castle there's various gun carriages and these mortars. This is looking downstream in Budapest. Parliament building on the left hand side, all nice and white. The castle with a green dome you can see there. And the citadel right away in the distance. And that figure on top of a column. And this bridge, rather strangely, sort of bends in the middle. We've had lots of distant views of this building, Parliament building. And we're just walking up the promenades and just to get this lovely close-up, light and shade, beautiful. On the banks of the Danube is this little memorial of iron shoes. This is where the Nazis brought the Jews in the Second World War, lined them up on the bank, asked them to get undressed, and then shot them and threw them into the river in the freezing cold winter time, and all that was left were the shoes. So somebody has made this little memorial of all these shoes. It's just a very poignant reminder of the distant past. I think there were Hungarian Nazis who actually did the killing. It goes along there for quite a long way. Tragic. It wasn't just adults, there were children involved as well. There's a little pair of iron casts of some children's shoes. A tragic business. The Jewish and Gypsy population in Hungary were almost decimated during the Second World War and carted off to Auschwitz. So it's evening time and I'm facing west, so this would be better in the mornings. And that's the famous chain bridge, and behind it is the castle, which I think is the official residence of the royal family, as was. Well, lots of lovely green squares in Budapest as you meander around. This is early morning, it's about 9 o'clock. Lovely plane trees and restaurants all the way around. I always think it's rather nice in the evening. There's a statue of a sort of bloke with big hands and a wild hairstyle. I don't know who he is. There'll be some information somewhere about him. I wonder if he was a pianist. Near the Litz statue is this Litz seated sculpture, and this Zeni Academia, and looking at the friezes, it's to do with children and music. Well, certainly something to do with music, probably a music college. The statue to this fellow called Liszt, because of his big hands, he was in fact Franz Liszt, the pianist, but he's very well known. And the building is in fact the institute, the Franz Liszt sort of institute or music college. All of these places, Berlin, Prague and Budapest, suffered very badly during the Second World War under the Nazis, and again under the Soviet regime, and they all have a sort of a terror museum, very aptly named. So this is the chain bridge here in Budapest, easily found, and the terror museum is here, near this intersection called Octagon, which is it's well placed if you want the trams and underground. You can't photograph inside the place, but like many of these places, it's mainly photographs and boards of information. And some of them, I think this one has something like 63 boards in, or even more, to read with accompanying photographs. And whilst it was very, very interesting, it became a little bit tedious after a while. The building was the headquarters of the Hungarian Nazi Party before and during the war, and terrible things happened there. But after the war it became the headquarters of the Hungarian secret police in its various guises, run by an absolute monster. A fella called Gabor Peter. He was eventually arrested by the Soviets and accused of being a spy for the Israelis, and jailed. And in the centre of the building is this huge tank, and thousands of photographs of people who were arrested and tortured, if not killed, in this building. So this is a house of terror, you can see what it says up there, back to front. We'll pay our money and have a look and see what's inside. All along the wall outside are photographs of people who were obviously killed in. And the Russians, well, they made a bid for independence and the Russians came in and crushed it with their almighty force. The photographs on the outside are of people who sort of disappeared over several years. Went in there and were never seen again. Terrible. This is the entrance to the synagogue. It's 4,000 forints to get in. And it's about 246 forints to the pound, or to the euro. 246 forints to the euro. So it's quite an expensive visit. So this is inside the synagogue, which is massive. Second biggest synagogue in the world. And rather strangely, when you go into a synagogue, if you're a man, you have to have a head covering. And here they give you a little paper hat. It took a long time to build, and it was, I think it was finished about 1937. Just in time for the Second World War and the Jewish ghetto. It's quite some place with its sort of triple decker look. This is the garden inside the synagogue where 2,000 or more Jews were buried. Some kind of mass graves. All their names are on those columns there, I think. During the time of the, I don't know, about 1944, 1945. This sculpture, for want of a better word, is interesting. Each little leaf has a name on it, which obviously has some significance. And the synagogue is behind it, a large synagogue building.
Here there is the two empty rooms, the two tablets of the 10 commandments, right?
This is the boundary of ghetto. You can see a map of it over there where about 40,000 Jews were confined during the war. You weren't allowed in and you weren't allowed out. About 10,000 of them died. This is a little memorial to them. There's some writing over there cut into the steelwork. These are the streets, and there's little holes in here and you can peer through and see how it was beforehand, before the ghetto was established. Each one of them has a number. There must be a guide to it somewhere that explains what each one of them is. This is St. Stephen's Basilica, or St. Stephen's Cathedral in Budapest, or Budapest as they whatever you call it. That lovely blue sky with the white clouds behind. It's a wonderful building. What wonderful light and shade you get in this lovely evening sunshine. There's an orchestra and singing, rehearsing. The building is quite magnificent inside. So it's cruising up the Danube, having a meal, which is it's nice, buffet meal, it's rather nice. Just coming up to some bridge or other. Lovely reflections in the water. This is the Elizabeth Bridge. Mother Russia, or whatever they call her up there, on the hill, the citadel. Well, this is the Elizabeth Bridge, not the other one. I don't know what the other one's called. But this is definitely the Elizabeth Bridge, and behind it the castle. And the St. Matthias Church on the right. Well, we've passed under the Elizabeth Bridge and we come up Castle, St. Matthias Church and the Chain Bridge. And it's a wonderful balmy evening. I mean, it's 35 degrees today temperature, but now it must be about 22, 23. That is absolutely stunning.
Really, a weekend.
There is St. Matthias Church, or Church of Our Lady, top of the hill.
I read somewhere, yes, in the guidance that they decided they
Fabulous. Just fabulous. We're coming up to the Parliament building, which is on the left bank, on the Pest side. Company of some music behind us coming from a speaker, which is really annoying, but never mind. You get what you get. Well, isn't that just glorious? I mean, it's a wonderful building during the day, but at night it's just stunning the way it's all lit up. Glorious. So I've just moved to the stern of the boat, get away from all the people jabbering away as we sail past the Parliament building. Less intrusive music as well. was just a stunning trip, that really was something special. Totally different at night and totally different from the river. This is a view from the Citadel Hill, St Matthew's Church, the castle, the Chain Bridge, Elizabeth Bridge. And the Ferris wheel. The Elizabeth Bridge, Chain Bridge, St Margaret's Bridge, Budapest at night. This is the Liberty statue. We've seen it from a long way off, we've seen it from the river, we've seen it telephoto, and here we are standing right underneath it. I don't know what the significance is of the palm leaf. But another woman was holding it at the Mentor Park. And this is where there was this massive celebration when the Russians conquered the Nazis. Lots of Russian dignitaries and Hungarian dignitaries and others came here, and the place was absolutely plastered with flowers. There's a black and white video of it somewhere. And they became members of the Soviet Union. And Stalin screwed Churchill and Roosevelt and annexed a great mass of Eastern Europe, which remained in Soviet hands until its demise in 1991. And it was running out of money, spending far too much on the military. And Gorbachev obviously saw what was coming and pulled the plug. And all the Soviet soldiers who were in Hungary were just left high and dry. That was it. It's all over now. Find your way home and pay your own way. Under the auspices of President Reagan of the United States, former film star, and Margaret Thatcher of England, former grocer's daughter.